like music like this?
Great music all the time.
Or like this?
The music you love.
Maybe this.
Great music that makes you want to turn up the volume loud.
Or life chat like this.
Especially where human life is concerned. Surely, sooner or later, people will realize that lives actually matter.
Then you're in the right place. Keep it locked to World Jam Global, where music is harmony.
Music 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Yeah, I'm a World Jam. Hotter than them.
See live schedule.
World Jam Global Radio presents
All because the lady loves.
your World Jam DJs on the night will be Early B spinning the best in future grooves. Also, you'll have DJ Mac, DJ Laro from the original Emotion Sound. Also, Younger General from Black Mountain Sound. Performing on the night will be Camilla Marcel singing her new single, Life. Also, we have Sugar Ray performing his latest single, Shake It Down. There will be loads of giveaways on the night. Also, prizes for the best dressed couple, which will be judged by our professional photographer coming from Cool Vibes Studio. Prizes for the best romantic dancing couple on the night. Of course, we have our own judges, which will be the Dirty Rubber crew. We'll be checking that out, so look out for that one. On the 14th of February 2018 at the Junction House, 578 Kingston High Road, London, E84AH. Tickets for this Valentine's affair is set at £20 for couples and £15 for singles. Tickets available at the following: 3Ws, worldjamglobal.com, located on the events page where you can click and purchase your tickets, or on the ticket hotline number of 07802 302450. You can also purchase tickets from any of the World Jam Global DJs performing on the night. Dressed to impress, professional photographers on site all night.
All because the lady loves.
This is Younger General, and you can listen to the Younger General's Mix by Mix show each and every Thursday between the hours of 7 and 9 on the World Jam Global. Listen.
World Jam Global.
Hi, my name is DJ Matt. Join me each and every Sunday for the old school reggae experience, the thing we call
Time tunnel.
between the hours of 12 and 3 each and every Sunday, all right, on the big one.
World Jam Global.
Well, it's Saturday night at 6 o'clock, and it's time for another edition of Issues Today on World Jam Global Radio.
I paid for my crime. I already did my time. I paid for my crime.
Split theory is the issue today.
I already did my time. I paid for my crime. I already did my time. I paid for my crime.
Subject matter is a
In my time, I paid for my crime.
very, very intriguing case indeed.
Back in the day,
Well, my guests today
about the system.
are going to be they'll be on air shortly,
It was do or die. I had too many rivals.
and we're going to be looking at
Stay in school. I learned my lesson.
a young man by the name of Travis,
And I couldn't beat. I was good with my hands and very
whose life was taken away too quickly.
women. I had girls all over the street. I was getting money.
Now, in the 3 years that we've done police brutality and killed by cops,
Rearrange. I'm a changed man. Don't need no gun in my hand.
we've never found a straight-laced case yet. Here's another.
All in jail. Trying to cope
Today we're going to look through talk through some evidence
with my crime.
that says one thing,
Already did my time. I paid for my crime.
yet the police report says another.
Paid for my crime.
All too often we hear this sad effect
Paid for my crime.
where a young man or a young woman is stigmatized, labeled, condemned,
I was a drug dealer so much.
because of who they are or how they lived or what they did.
I'm not proud of what I had to do. That's why
But once again, we're going to say right here today,
I had to repent. I must admit, I was doing all kinds
you take someone's life, you need to be accountable.
and thinking,
And we are going to hold you accountable.
I used to live, I wouldn't do it again. I was young and dumb. My brain was so numb. I was a real Forrest Gump.
So whatever you might have heard about this case prior to this show,
I've been coming. I was the real Terminator, much meaner than Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'd shoot you
I've got the B-man, Donald B himself,
Gator, especially all
friend of the family and friend of Travis. I'm also going to have his parents, Therese and Brian Gallagher. I'll get it right.
Already did my time. Paid for my crime.
On a week where the UK almost came to a standstill because of the cold weather.
Already did my time. Paid for my crime. Already did my
Still pretty cold here.
Pay for my crime. Pay for my crime. Pay for my crime. Pay for my crime. Already did my time. I paid for my crime. Already did my time. I paid for my crime. I'm trying to get this felony off my back so I can get my life on track and have the right to vote and live like an ordinary citizen again. This is my message to all of my friends in the pen, statewide, worldwide. There was not a man I couldn't beat.
We're probably going to talk about some things that you already know, and then
swimming in
we're also going to try and talk about some things that you don't know. What you heard and what you might have heard. But it's going to be the truth, and nothing but the truth as we know it, right here on Issues Today. Stand by.
No gangster life is too short to spend it all in jail. Trying to cope with this living hell. Already did my time. I paid for my crime. Already did my time. I paid for my crime.
Want to say a big shout out to all the
time. I paid for
World Jam Global Radio presenters, DJs.
Already did my time. I paid for
the boss himself, DJ Matt.
Already did my time.
Holds things together in the background. Want to say to all of you in the chat room, you can sign in,
but I never got high on my own supply. I'm not proud of
put up any questions that you might like in the chat room. We'd love to see you. Say hello.
I had to repent. I must admit, I was doing all.
Catch us on www.worldjamglobalradio.com.
Gotten older, the life I used to live.
You have the smartphone. You can catch us on the TuneIn app. This is going out live across the world.
I was nobody's chump. Me and Billy the Kid had a lot in common. I was the real Terminator, much meaner than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Don't forget, you can follow us on YouTube also.
Like a real alligator, especially all you haters. Already did my time, paid for my crime. Already did my time.
I think this will be the last Issues Today before the Christmas. Looking to take a 2-week break to spend some quality time with the family and into the new year. But we'll be coming back in the new year with an absolutely brand new lineup. Producer Candice Brewer is on board, and she's working behind the scenes to line up a few shows for the new year, and I could tell you some hot topics already being lined up for you after the new year, so stay tuned.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Trying to cope with this living here.
But with no further ado, we've had the adverts, we've had the intro. I'm going to go to my first guest. I want to introduce a man there who's referred to, called, and known as the B-Man, Donald Sauter. How you doing, Donald?
Doing good, Kerbin. How are you?
I'm okay, my friend. Just want to give the audience a little intro. Tell them a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, where you're from.
Well, my name's Donald. I'm from Rock Springs, Wyoming, and I was a welder, and then I got hurt on a job. I'm on Social Security disability now.
Okay, and we'll kind of get to why you're involved in this story, this case, and with this family a little bit later on. But now let's go to our main guest, who will be giving us the main crux of the story, and it's husband and wife, parents of Travis, Therese and Brian Gallagher. Good evening, folks.
Good evening.
Good evening, Kerbin. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's a bit cold here in the UK. I'm not sure what the weather is like where you are.
It's snowing.
It's snowing. Ooh, yeah, we had a bit of that earlier in the week. Brought us to a standstill. We don't manage like you guys do, you know. We get one day of snow and the UK just comes to a standstill. Schools shut down, shops shut down, trains and planes at airports, and everything comes to a halt with a couple of inches of snow.
It doesn't happen like that here because there's always snow.
I gather that. Almost every time you watch a movie, you see a snow-topped mountain and the ravines covered in snow, and people still making their way to their daily work. But unfortunately, the reason why we're doing this show is you happen to lose a loved one, your son Travis. And maybe you want to just tell us a little bit about the day that Travis died, and then we're going to go back into who and what Travis was, and then look at the evidence as we know it.
Well, I would say our nightmare started at about 7:30 in the morning on May 28th, 2004, when a member of the Rock Springs Police Department came to our house, and the coroner.
Can I just disturb you guys? We got some external noise coming from somewhere. I don't know. It sounds like some crunching or some munching or something going on. Somebody treading snow, or there's just something going on in the background wherever you are. Can you guys, whatever it is, can we? Because that's coming over.
You know, we hear that too.
We heard that too with yours the entire time, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's not on my end.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just try and run with it. It may well be the video. But I'm not sure because we've never used a video on here before. But yeah, go ahead and continue to tell us about that day with Travis.
Okay, we would say the morning of May 28th, 2004, a member of the Rock Springs Police Department and a Sweetwater County coroner came to my house and informed my wife that our son was dead. My nightmare started a few minutes later when the Rock Springs police officer called me at work. Told me Travis had died after a brief scuffle with the Rock Springs Police Department.
Now, the funny thing is, our audience and the listeners and viewers on World Jam Global and listening across the world won't be able to see some of the things that we've seen and what you've shared with me. But I've seen a humongous amount of evidence that suggests that.
May I interject here just one moment and say that Travis was stopped on a traffic violation. He was a passenger in a car that was stopped on a traffic violation for not having plates.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for that. But here's the thing. Somewhere along the line, something went wrong. If something must have gone wrong, because people don't just die. Not just like that anyway. And there's normally a reason for somebody losing their life. And for me, the coroner's report said that he died from a drug overdose, right?
No, that's what the coroner says. I could show you a picture of what they consider in Rock Springs when a heart attack is.
Can we try turning off the video your end, Brian? Because I think it's your recording that's coming through like that. The sound is absolutely terrible. I can't hear a thing from you.
All I'm hearing is static, Urban.
Right. Let's try cutting out the videos, because I've cut mine off.
That's a lot better now.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's try and uncover who Travis was. So, as parents, and you, Therese, in particular, you gave birth to a wonderful baby boy when?
Yes, I did.
October 29th, 1973.
Excuse me, November 29th.
November 29th, 1973. And how did he develop as a child? What sort of a child was he?
He was joyful. He was wonderful. He was a light bringer.
Can I stop you there now, guys? Because that's I've turned mine off, and I've still got that sound. So can we turn off the videos? Can we all turn off the videos and see if we can get rid of that sound?
Okay, I got mine off.
Right.
Still getting it?
No, you've turned yours off. That's where the noise was coming from. It's gone. Absolutely gone completely.
Okay, then we just leave TJ and Brian on there.
That's fine. We can work with that. If it comes back, then we'll deal with that. Okay, so tell us of what sort of a child Travis grew up into.
He was active. He was into sports. He brought joy to everyone. His smile was unbelievable. He was a good boy.
He played Little League, baseball, football, basketball.
And he was loved by the girls.
Yeah, I've seen this picture.
Yeah.
You know,
he was loved by all of us. He was just really loved.
Yeah. So you say that he played a lot of sports, so he was into sports. He was athletic, energetic.
Yes.
I suppose that made him very popular as well, right?
Quite popular, yes.
Okay. Where you guys live, is that where you've always lived? Is that the area you've always lived in?
Excuse me?
Yeah. Is that the area?
Oh, no, I lived in Oregon, and Brian is from Boston.
But I mean, as a family, is this where you've always lived?
Yes.
Okay.
Rock Springs. Yeah.
Rock Springs.
Okay, so at what age did Travis first either get onto the police radar or get himself in any trouble?
Travis came to live with me when he was like 13. So I don't know if he was in trouble before that or, he got in some trouble, of course, when, he was young, just in high school.
Look, I know we're not going to...
Not bad trouble or anything, just like...
At the end of the day, we know that most people aren't angels. And angels don't really live on the earth. So all of us have got some sort of history. We've all got some sort of past. We've all done things that we regret. And we wish we hadn't have done. If we could turn the clock back, we'd do it differently. But that doesn't give a law enforcement officer... yeah, we're still getting that noise. I'm not sure where that noise is coming from, but we're still getting that noise.
Are you now?
Yeah, I'm still getting it, and I'm not sure.
Let me unplug these headphones and see if that makes a difference. And then, hey, I unplugged them.
Yeah, it's got. Yeah, the noise is definitely coming from your end, Donald. Everything that you do comes through on that, and when you turn off your video,
is this? How about now?
Yep, the noise is gone.
Okay, yeah, it was them headphones.
Okay, all right. So again, what we were saying was, the dogs have been let loose, right? So we're not trying to paint anybody out to be an angel, but law enforcement officers still don't have the right to take life, and so we need to hold them accountable where there's questions to be answered. So, whether or not Travis got himself into any trouble at a younger age or not, what sort of trouble was he getting into, and was it a frequent thing, Therese?
He would get, the only thing that I knew about was traffic violations, and maybe drinking at kegers with his friends, but never any criminal activity did I know ever of.
Okay. Now, obviously, has he got any siblings, brothers and sisters?
He has one brother.
Okay, how did they get on?
They were about 10 years apart between them. So Travis was the big brother. Nathan looked up to him as the older brother, admired him. They got along well.
They took different paths in life.
Did you all you guys have a good, reasonable, strong bond and relationship?
Yes. The typical family. We had issues. I think just with every family, we like to see our children do go the right path. Sometimes it's disappointing when they stray.
As any parent would. So, at what age were you aware that Travis started using drugs in any form?
Probably 18, 19. It really became obvious.
And what in particular changed about him, his behavior, his attitude? What changed about him?
More just maybe drawing in on himself a little bit, coming home late, typical stuff.
Yeah.
Smelling of alcohol on his breath.
So answer me this question, my friends: Did he start to get involved in crime because of his drug use or not?
No, I don't believe he has any, criminal record other than his involvement in drugs. Some traffic violations.
He was never busted for drugs.
And as long as I known him, I never known him to do any criminal activity myself either.
And that's, for me, that tells a very big story, because what that says to me is that he wasn't really known to the police as a prolific offender, maybe as a user, but you said that he never had no convictions for drugs either. So he wasn't on their radar as a dealer or anything else like that, right?
No,
not that we know of.
So therefore, there would have really been no real relationship with him and police officers in that locality that would have caused them, to have some sort of beef with him, so to speak.
No, Travis wasn't a drug dealer either.
Yeah. You see, we often get this where you have wild officers who are just let loose on the beat, and then somebody's child comes home in a body bag, and this is what I want to get into today. I want you guys. I want to give you an opportunity to do Travis some justice here today. The things that haven't been spoken out in the coroner reports and the hearings, etc. There's been no. I would imagine that nobody has been held accountable or been charged, or no crime as far as they're concerned has been made related to this particular thing, because they're claiming that he died of a drug overdose, right?
Correct.
Okay,
57 times over the OD mark.
So, was Travis someone who used drugs as much as that in order for him to have been that much over?
Absolutely not. No.
And have you managed to speak to any professionals who could have given you a testimony as to how much drugs he would have had to have taken for him to have been that much over at the time of his death?
The only reports that we have came from the autopsy reports. I just can't.
And the forensic.
So and I just can't understand how anybody could be.
So here's something that I thought that you guys need to do. You guys need to find somebody who's going to be able to give you the information, and the information that you require is on this particular subject is how much drugs would he have had to have taken for his reading to have been that much over, right? Yeah. And over, because that have they plied him with drugs after the event, or do was he at a party? Was he having a session with some of his friends? Was it one of those days where
he was driving around with his girlfriend at the time?
And did they examine? Did he have any drugs on him when he was found?
There was a small quantity of marijuana,
okay,
and a pipe, and I think that's all that was found.
Now
I think the pipe was in the car. He had $1 bill in his pocket and a gram of marijuana.
Okay, so Donald, how did you get to know Travis? When did you get to know Travis?
I ran into Travis partying in high school through some friends of mine. Never really hung out together. We went to parties and we'd see each other here and there, and we just got to know each other, through friends and kegers we went to and camping trips. That little group of friends that hung out together went and did, and we go rock hunting and just stuff like that.
Okay, so even though he was using drugs, he still led a reasonably normal life.
I couldn't hear you, Curvin, sorry.
I said even though he was using drugs, he still led a reasonably normal life, did normal things.
Yeah. At that time, we were just kids. I think we drank beer and smoked a little bit of marijuana, and that's all Travis was into at that time. And, into girls and just taking road trips and hanging out with family and stuff like that, his friends.
And how did you get to hear of his death?
Well, at the time that this all happened, I was a meth addict myself, and I was involved in criminal activity. And that night, I was out doing what I had to do to take care of my meth habit, and I lived about a block away from where this all took place, and at that time I was just a little ways away from where the scuffle took place with Travis. And yeah, I heard him and the officer fighting. I didn't know it was Travis at the time till the next day. But at that time, I heard the scuffling and the fighting and the screaming. And
so you actually heard the scuffles and the fighting that the police say never took place?
Yes, sir. I heard it when